911 emergency.
We just heard several gunshots and some screaming. It sounds like it's right outside.
Anything seen?
No, we couldn't see anything. We're staying like in the window now.
15 miles east of busy Seattle, Washington, a man leaves his apartment complex. As he makes his way into the complex parking garage, he hears what sounds like fireworks. He turns around and realizes this isn't a celebration. It's a threat to his life. Baron Lee's gut instinct is to escape, but there's no time and nowhere to run. Lee tries to shield himself with a car door, but it's no use. A man in a hooded sweatshirt follows him around the door and shoots twice. Lee falls to the concrete and lies in the fetal position as his assailant fires off 7 more shots. Then the shooter runs off and leaves the 48-year-old sales manager bleeding on the cement. Luckily for Lee, he wasn't the only one headed out the door that morning. Several bystanders heard or saw the gunfire and dialed 911.
911 emergency.
I think I just heard 7 gunshots. Someone's screaming outside.
I'm a resident at an apartment complex, and I just heard what appeared to be gunfire.
And we can hear screaming.
It appears to be in front of the activity center.
I just heard 7 shots, and I saw somebody running with a gray hoodie and something green in their hand, and yes, there's somebody on the ground.
Lee's been shot in the arm, leg, torso, and hip 9 times in total. When first responders arrive, Lee is unconscious. They're able to stop the bleeding with 3 tourniquets before taking him to a Seattle hospital. Lee wakes up to learn investigators want to speak with him. Detectives file into his hospital room asking questions like, "Do you have any enemies?" and "Did you see who did this?" Lee tells police he did see the shooter, but he didn't recognize him. He was young, in his teens or early 20s. White, dark curly hair, maybe 5'6", gray hoodie, gloves maybe. He targeted Lee, approached him from behind, and ambushed him, a complete stranger. None of the 911 callers recognized him either, but they could describe him for investigators.
The person that shot them, they had a gray hoodie with their hood up, green kitchen gloves, and they picked up their shell casings as they ran off. And do you remember what the guy looked like?
Yes, so young man, white, gray hoodie, and he had something green in his hand, like he was maybe holding the gun with a plastic bag.
One caller even gave police a description of what she believed could be the getaway car.
The car it looks like a Camry, brand new, dark gray, and it still has the Pierian Toyota license plate on it.
Okay.
Their question now is who would want 48-year-old car sales manager Baron Lee dead?
The penalty is death.
Get your family out of here. Why me?
I will have my attorney call you.
So unbelievable.
Around 11:30 p.m. the night of the shooting, detectives start surveillance on a person of interest. And right away, their investigation leads them to zero in on a young man who they believe holds the answer to their question. 17-year-old Joseph Good. But it's not until October, 3 months after the attack, that investigators sit down with him face to face.
You want to start chronologically? What do you want to do?
Yeah, we can start. How long you lived in this area for?
Forever. I mean, I've moved around, like around the valley and stuff, but always pretty close.
Pretty close?
You're a Mount Vernon guy.
Yeah.
You listed your dad, did you?
My mom lives on West Side.
Okay. You spent time with both of them then, or?
As it turns out, no one recognized Good when the shooting took place because he's not from Bellevue. Good is from Mount Vernon, a town more than an hour north. It would be a long, strange route to take for a random shooting on a Friday morning. No, investigators had a feeling that wasn't the case.
Yeah, so we're from Bellevue. Any ideas why we might be talking with you today? Okay. So, back in July, around July 10th or so, we had an incident in Bellevue that you may or may not have been familiar with, I don't know. There was a shooting in Bellevue. Individual got shot. So we went out and we investigated that. And during the course of our investigation, we came across a vehicle. I'm just wondering if you might recognize that. Actually, before I even get to that, I didn't know if you recognize who that is.
Yeah, that's my friend Quincy.
Quincy Mendez, also 17 at the time and a resident of Mount Vernon. Little does Good know, investigators have already dug into his friend. The night of the shooting, the surveillance team from the Bellevue Police Department was led straight to his residence. There, officers spotted 4 vehicles that came back registered to Mendez's address, including a Ford F-150 pickup truck and a Toyota Camry. But it wasn't the silver Camry that one of the 911 callers described. That was Lee's car. The Burien Toyota license plate is from the car dealership where he works as a sales manager. The morning of July 10th, Lee was about to get into his car and drive to work when Good allegedly fired the first shot. Underneath Lee's Camry, police found what appeared to be a tiny GPS tracking device. Of course, Lee didn't put it there. Someone else did. Possibly Good, or perhaps someone leading Good to where Lee was sure to appear that morning. Also in the parking garage were, you guessed it, security cameras. Police combed through the footage to see exactly what witnesses described: a young man in a gray hoodie and something green in his hands, running out of the garage just seconds after the shooting took place. And the cameras also captured something else: the vehicle Good left in. Not Lee's Toyota, but a Ford pickup truck with another young man in the driver's seat.
Do you hang out with Quincy ever, or?
Every once in a while.
Every once in a while?
Yeah.
Ever drive with Quincy to Bellevue?
I don't remember. We used to hang out a lot.
What happened?
I don't know. We just don't hang out a ton anymore. Every once in a while. But...
Every once in a while, but not as much anymore. When did you guys stop hanging out together?
Oh, we still hang out, just like not a ton.
Anything major happen that did you do something that maybe made you stop wanting to hang out with them?
I don't think so, no. Just...
So, when, like I said, we had that shooting in Bellevue. After we went back, we found this vehicle pulling into a gas station down in Bellevue. You recognize that pickup at all?
Kind of, yeah.
Kind of?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure?
Police were pretty sure. Other witnesses allegedly described seeing the same pickup truck circle around the complex the morning of the shooting. They had the truck on apartment security footage, and they were able to find it again on security footage from a gas station en route back to Mount Vernon, where the boys lived at the time. Investigators tracked the license plate information back to Quincy Mendez's father at the address where they saw it parked the night of July 10th. When they learned Mendez and Good were friends, all the pieces started to fall into place. Well, most of them.
The morning that you came back from Bellevue, you said you stopped at the gas station there. You think that was in Bellevue or near Bellevue?
Probably near Bellevue, probably. Not that I know of. I didn't really know where I was at.
Okay. All right. You don't know Bellevue very well.
No. I mean, I worked up there for an ice skating rink. My sister helped me get a job there.
Ice skating rink?
Yeah.
In Bellevue?
Yeah, they do it every probably, towards...
the one in the park?
Yeah.
Do you remember where you got gas or what kind of gas station it was?
Can't really remember.
But you do remember getting gas before you came back?
Yes.
Okay. Did you guys eat anywhere, stop anywhere else?
No.
Did you get out of the truck other than gas?
My truck was acting up.
Okay.
Got out, checked my fluid and stuff. It was running weird. I don't know why, but we ended up making it home safe.
Do you remember Joseph getting out of the car anywhere?
Not that I remember. I woke up and he was in the truck. He was with me the whole time.
But when you were in Bellevue, when you stopped for gas or anything like that, you don't remember him getting out of the car?
I got out to pump gas. I think he went in to pay, I believe.
Okay. Did he ever wander off? Like, were you ever by yourself at any point?
Not that I know of.
No.
I was pretty high. I was stoned. I was just, the only thing that was coming to my mind was I need gas and yeah. He was with me the whole time.
The whole time after the shooting, maybe. But investigators are hoping Mendez comes forward about why they took his dad's truck and drove off toward Bellevue in the first place. So investigators show him the evidence. Photos taken from the security footage around Bellevue and Mount Vernon, time-stamped with the date of the shooting, July 10th, 2020. And a few more photos taken just a week later, confirming the two teens had an ongoing friendship and access to the truck. Mendez admits that he did drop Joseph off somewhere on July 10th. Mendez parked on a hill. Good got out of the truck, and Mendez drove around and waited. Mendez tells investigators he was high on shrooms and his memory is blurry, but he knows that he stayed in the car when Good got out.
Where'd you drop him off at?
I was on a hill.
You're on a hill?
Yeah, towards a tennis court, I think.
Mm-hmm. Why'd you go there?
Because I was just parked there. He said pull over, and he was like, I'm like, okay. And I just stood there. And he's like, I'll be back. I'm just going to go for a walk. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to stay here because I don't really want to waste any more gas. Mm-hmm. So I just stood there, listening to music on my phone, playing games, waiting for him. Nothing. And then I finally was like, okay.
You recognize that truck?
Yeah, that's mine.
It's your truck. So you see the date there on the bottom? It's actually kind of backwards, but just kind of ironic. Yesterday was the 7th.
Like right here?
Well, the date's backwards. The month is in the middle.
The month is in the middle, yeah. The 10 is...
Even though if that was October 7th, that would be yesterday, but we obviously weren't there yesterday. It's July 10th, 2020.
Okay. Yeah, that's my truck.
So that was your truck going into this parking lot here?
Mm-hmm.
So that's right there by that hill you were talking about. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, I was parked probably right here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I stood there, letting cars go through and everything. And then my truck's, I turn it on, starts ticking, check the hood and everything.
Yeah. So you pulled in here, you parked, actually you pulled in, and then you pulled out, you drove, and then you went parked on that side of the hill. And after you parked, Joseph went walking by.
Yeah.
But Mendez is still hesitant to come forward with the full truth, until investigators present him with a piece of evidence he never saw coming, his own phone.
So I found that image on your phone.
On my phone?
Yeah. See, we have the ability to write warrants to Apple, and we can get information from them. And anything that you do on your phone goes out in the cloud. You know what the cloud is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this picture was on your phone. It was a screenshot from your phone. It was taken at 12:05 on the day of the shooting.
Okay.
Okay, so the shooting occurs at 8:24. You drive back to Mount Vernon, and at 12:05 you look up this shooting, and you take a screenshot of it, and then you deleted it and put it in your expunged folder, which is where I found it. Then the next morning at 5:05, you took another screenshot of the same thing, different news media. I don't have that picture with me, but you took another one following up on that. So that's how I know you know what happened there. Right now, you're driving somebody to Bellevue to commit a crime and then bringing them back from Mount Vernon. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So do you want to make more crimes by lying to us about what your involvement was in it, or what you know about it, or what he said to you?
I don't know much about it. I mean,
what did Joseph tell you?
Nothing. He just told me to go to Bellevue. He went. He did his own thing. Next thing you know, he got back in. I'm tripping on shrooms. He just starts saying we gotta go, and he's all like, check the news. check the news when you get home and stuff. And I was like, why? This and that. He's like, just do it. And I was like, okay.
So Joseph told you to look at the news to see what happened?
Mm-hmm.
Did you know Joseph had a gun?
No.
You ever seen Joseph with a gun?
No.
Okay, don't lie to me. Have you ever seen Joseph with a gun?
Probably when I was on shrooms, yeah.
Have you ever seen Joseph firing a gun?
No.
Have you ever seen Snapchat videos of Joseph firing a gun?
Snapchat?
Yeah, Snapchat.
Not shooting a gun.
You've never seen a video of Joseph shooting a gun because he sent one to you on the 13th of July.
I didn't get no video. I promised that.
Right, well, I can go pull it up. I have it on my laptop.
Pull it up. I didn't. He didn't send me anything.
Not shooting a gun here. Just shooting a gun out shooting out on a hillside.
On a hillside?
On a gravel road.
Oh, then probably, yeah.
Well, you just said you've never seen him with a gun.
I mean, yeah, we've shot guns at his house. At his dad's.
What kind of guns?
12 gauge, little 22, like a rifle.
What about handguns?
His dad has a big one. That's all I know of. And then Joe with the little small one.
Back in the interrogation room with Good, investigators hope he'll confess the full truth once he sees the photos of himself in Mendez's truck.
Have you ever been in Quincy's pickup before?
Mm-hmm.
When was the last time that you were in his pickup?
I don't know, it's been broken for a long time.
What happened to it?
Clutch or something, I think, went out.
Clutch went out?
Yeah.
Do you know how long that's been?
A long time. I'm not exactly sure, but...
That's fine. So, there's that picture there. That look any clearer?
No, not really.
Alright.
Can I get an attorney before I answer all these questions
Yeah.
and stuff? I feel like I'm doing it wrong.
Alright, that's fine.
Investigators won't be getting a confession from him yet. But maybe they don't need it, now that allegiances have changed.
Like I said, I've seen all the Snapchats. I've got all of that. This is why I know that you guys were there. This is why I know what happened.
Yeah, I get that.
Okay. So, this is your chance. What did Joseph tell you?
He just told me I have to say anything pretty much, to be honest with you.
Okay. So, did he tell you?
I saw it. I did text him, like, bro, what did we do? Blah, blah, blah. He's like, don't worry about it. You'll be fine. I was like, bro, it's not okay. Why? I was tripping on shrooms and stuff, and after that, I was freaking out. I didn't know what to do. I really didn't.
It's a pretty serious thing. I mean,
it is.
He took advantage of your friendship by sucking you into this, right?
He did.
How did he convince you to go to Bellevue?
I was down with it. I mean, I was on shrooms. I felt great. And he just, let's go to Bellevue, let's go to Bellevue. I was like, bro, I don't want to. I mean, at first I didn't want to, and then I was on shrooms. He's like, bro, who cares? Let's just go. You'll be fine, this and that. I'll pay for everything. I was like, well, I mean, I guess. And we went. I didn't know what he did. And then when he told me to check the news later, I did. I saw that, bitched at him. I didn't really with him after that.
That's
why
you're not best friends anymore.
Yes. Yes.
The detectives have been around long enough to know that when there's a falling out between people involved in a crime, one of them becomes more likely to cooperate. Good has asked for an attorney. Mendez has started to confess. Now the investigation hinges on one final detail: the connection between the two teens from Mount Vernon and Baron Lee, the 48-year-old car sales manager from Bellevue. What did the three men have in common, if anything? As investigators soon find out, the question isn't what, but who.
Someone told him to do it.
Right?
Yeah.
He's being paid. He's breaking you off a piece for being his driver, basically, right?
Yeah, I believe.
Okay. So the question is, where's that coming from?
That I don't know.
You don't have any idea who?
Mm-mm.
Did he ever talk to anybody else about it? He didn't have a conversation in front of you with anyone else?
No.
When he got back in the car, did he communicate with anyone?
He just talked about the dude, this dude, That was it. He didn't say anything. Oh, he's.
What did he say about the dude?
He was just like, this dude right here. I was like, what about him? He's like, we need to we need to unload the clip. So yeah, he told me.
We need to do what? You say again? I didn't.
The clip. Unload the clip. You know.
Unload the clip.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you?
That he was gonna cap him, but
what's cap? I mean, just so I know what it means, but I just want to make sure I'm clear.
Clear? Are you getting it for the videos?
No, it's just so. I mean, you're saying cap. To me, it means you're gonna kill him. Is that what that means to you?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure we don't understand, because you come back later and it's like, oh, cap. I was like, put the pin cap on.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
What about the money?
What money?
Did Joseph talk to you about getting paid?
About probably five grand just to help me.
Mm-hmm. So you said somewhere between $4,000 and $6,000, right?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
The phone download investigators performed prior to the interview with Mendez revealed that Good was allegedly promised $13,000 for the hit on Baron Lee. $13,000 is a lot of money, especially for a teenager working at an ice skating rink. Investigators suspect an adult with access to that kind of money must be involved. Or if they didn't have the money, they must have had the ability to convince a teenager they did. Something that may not have been so hard to do.
Who does Joseph know that could have put him onto a job like that?
Put him on a job like that?
Yeah. Like, who's going to say, I need somebody to get shot? I know, I'll call Joseph.
Not anyone I would know of. All my friends are high schoolers, and my car crew too, but I've been hanging out with them more than I've been hanging out with Joe. I mean, at the time, it was just Joe, but he never really told me his personal life. I always told him, you shouldn't go with them, you shouldn't be hanging around with them. He would leave his house with me there to go hang out with his big homies. I never saw them personally.
Mendez tells detectives that Good has been hanging around with an unsavory crowd and possibly involved in gang activity. But investigators aren't eager to hone in on a gangbanger for this shooting. They have a different suspect in mind. It's not a name that came from the block, but straight from their victim, Baron Lee. When investigators asked Lee if there is anyone who would want him dead, one person came to mind. His ex-wife, 30-year-old Shaerin Rose Kelley. Lee met Kelley in 2008 when he was living in Las Vegas, but they didn't meet out on the Strip. The two met on RuneScape, a popular medieval-themed online multiplayer role-playing game. After months conversing in the game, Kelley and Lee finally decided to meet in person. The couple married in 2010 and moved to Washington soon after. In 2014, they welcomed their son to the world. The birth of their child should have meant bliss for the couple, but Lee and Kelley's relationship was stressful and complicated. Their son was diagnosed with an extreme form of jaundice called hyperbilirubinemia, but a misdiagnosis early on led to severe brain damage. The couple racked up medical bills on top of an already suffering marriage. In 2015, Kelley filed for divorce and retained primary custody of their son. Lee moved out and was court-ordered to pay Kelley $6,000 a month in child support. By 2017, Lee was living in his car, unable to afford his bills and a hefty child support payment. Kelley was also apparently unfit to have custody of their son, and Child Protective Services placed him in foster care. Lee worked hard to get back on his feet, and in 2019 was awarded full custody of their son. But that didn't sit well with Kelley, who was only allowed supervised weekend visits. The night of July 10th, investigators immediately set up surveillance on Kelley's home. They followed her from her apartment all the way to an address in Mount Vernon, only 2 miles from the Mendez residence. Coincidence? Officers didn't think so.
Do you think Joseph was sent there to kill him, or rough him up, or shoot him, or was the end result that he was not supposed to survive?
I don't think he was supposed to survive. I believe so.
Does his dying or not dying have any bearing on getting paid?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything about the money.
So that conversation about you're supposed to unload the clip, where was that at? Was that in Joseph's house?
We're already in the truck. We're driving from his house to Mount Vernon to get on the highway and stuff. And he was just talking and talking and talking.
In all that talking in the truck, Mendez maintains that Good never mentioned Shaerin Kelley's name.
Your truck drives there. You drive around an area where somebody is shot and killed, and the person who shoots and kills him gets into your truck and you drive him back to Mount Vernon.
Pretty much. I mean, that's what it pretty much sounded to me too.
Yeah? I mean, what does that make you?
Bad guy, apparently, for being on shrooms and doing stupid and listening to someone else.
Yeah. Do you know the Kelley family?
No.
No. The name doesn't ring any bell to you?
Kelley family? No. I know Kells, but she's white and skinnier.
According to Mendez's statement and police search warrants, Joseph Good was the clear connection between Quincy Mendez and Shaerin Rose Kelley. And the money? That just sealed the deal.
I didn't really ask him questions because I was scared.
Did he threaten you?
No. He did not threaten me. It's just I didn't really want to mess with him. Whatever he did, I didn't want part. I mean, I thought about it. I mean, yeah, at first I was freaking out, and then after I was like, well, I mean, if he said he was gonna give me some money, and I was like, well, I can help my parents with that because we're struggling on money, we're tight.
Yeah, but you also wanted a new car too.
Yeah.
So you wanted some of the money to go down for a car?
And the rest for them to help them.
Good recruited Mendez as his getaway driver by offering him $5,000 after police say Kelley offered Good $13,000 directly. All he had to do was shoot and kill her ex-husband, Baron Lee, amid their ongoing custody dispute. Based on phone data and the GPS tracker Kelley allegedly placed underneath Lee's vehicle, police believe the attack had been clearly and carefully planned for an extended amount of time.
I was scared. I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to tell my parents.
A police warrant states that the GPS tracker was purchased from a security company by Shaerin Rose Kelley. Kelley allegedly gave the website information to Good so he could log in to find the location of Lee's vehicle, where he was sure to be on July 10th before his morning commute. Good forwarded himself the link to the website on September 28, 2020, and accessed the account the night before the shooting. Through their investigation, police learned Kelley first purchased the tracker in 2015, the same year she filed for divorce from Lee. The device data also shows that it was first located at Kelley's residence before picking up locations in Bellevue, consistent with having been attached to Lee's Toyota Camry. During a search of Kelley's residence, police locate a wireless prepaid mobile phone, $300 cash, a passport, and a loaded .38 special caliber revolver. It's unclear what Kelley was planning, if anything, but messages between her and Good show she was at least determined to follow through with her original plan. Phone data reveals that Kelley reached out to Joseph Good in the weeks following the attack on Baron Lee, stating that he wouldn't get paid until the job was finished. Lee and Kelley, it appears, are equally resilient. Baron Lee has told various media outlets that he believes he was not Kelley's only intended victim. Baron suspects that Kelley might have been planning an elaborate scheme to drain their son's trust fund, which had been established years earlier to help cover any future medical expenses. There is no documented evidence that Kelley planned to harm her son, as Lee has publicly claimed. However, police records indicate there was only one passport in the safe at Kelley's residence. Which begs the question, was Kelley preparing to flee alone? And if so, what would that mean for her 6-year-old son? Shaerin Rose Kelley, Joseph Good, and Quincy Mendez are all arrested on October 8, 2020, and charged with premeditated attempted murder in the first degree and unlawful possession of a firearm in the second degree. In 2023, Shaerin Rose Kelley pleads guilty and is sentenced to 13 years in prison. Joseph Good pleads guilty and is sentenced to more than 12 years behind bars. Quincy Mendez, the getaway driver who broke the case, also pleads guilty. He receives the lightest sentence, more than 8 years in a juvenile detention center.